Sign up to the SBR Network and use your free daily bet points to earn real-world prizes. Click on the page and start winning now.
Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Lojak. Today is the Monday after the round of 32 in the NCAA tournament. So we are talking with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, reviewing the opening rounds and taking a look ahead to the Sweet 16 and futures odds to win it all. Right now, we're going to take a look at the South. Joe, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, before we get into the South, tell us a little bit about OffshoreInsiders.com. Give a quick bragging plug for yourself.
Yes, no, the Lord of the Big Dance. We are 5-1 with our highest rated plays wise guys in the NCAA tournament so far. We're also picking winners in the so-called minor tournaments. The NBA wise guys have been red hot, all at offshoreinsiders.com, and our underdogs and small favorites in baseball just around the corner.
All right, sounds good. In the Heritage bracket, I'll tell you what, I picked Dayton over Ohio State. Pretty impressive, right, Joe Duffy?
Absolutely, absolutely. I know there were a lot of intangibles there that I went up passing on that game, but yeah, Dayton has wanted to play Ohio State for a long time, and then they proved that Ohio State was dodging them for a reason.
And I also had Kansas going out early and kind of liked Syracuse to go out fairly early as well, but I had New Mexico going deep. That was a pretty shitty pick. What do you think, Joe Duffy?
No, in fact, I told you that I'm 5-1 with wise guys. That was my one loser, New Mexico. Yeah. I like big men. New Mexico had big men, but of course they went up against Stanford, a team that's got some quality big guys.
I know. That's part of the reason why I had him going deep, because I was like, Joe Duffy loves big men. I'll have him going deep. But all right. Overall, I've done pretty well in my bracket, my Heritage bracket. I'm actually top 50 right now, which is not that bad in Heritage, despite a few bad picks of mine. And in the South, you know, everyone was saying it's going to be all about Florida, and they've pretty much cruised, right? Right now, they are minus 130 to win the South. So they are the odds-on favorite to win the South. Second choice is UCLA, who they play in the Sweet 16 at plus 260. And then you got Stanford at plus 550 and Dayton at plus 1,000. What do you make of these futures odds?
Well, if I had a dark horse, it would definitely be Stanford. Like I said, Stanford and New Mexico is a battle of two teams with big guys. I thought that New Mexico had the edge there. But we always hear the inductive reasoning where a lot of wannabe experts will tell you it's all about guard play. Well, the truth is that there are a lot more good guards out there. If you look in the CBI tournament, the NIT tournament, those teams are guard-oriented. Usually the difference maker is a team that can score from inside, and Stanford definitely matches up well against a lot of teams. So they would be the dark horse team, but still, Florida, they've got the experience. I do often say that experience is overrated, but when it's backed by talent, well, this is a Florida team that's won 3 SEC regular season titles. They've won a ton of games, this senior class has. So, yeah, there's nothing really to argue about. Florida has both the talent and the experience. They didn't necessarily have a phenomenal strength of schedule as maybe some of the Big Ten teams did, but they still played a good enough schedule. So it is tough to argue with Florida being among the favorites, and they are obviously the overall favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you have to figure their talent and their depth against Dayton or Stanford, they're going to have a relatively easy time there. The toughest one is going to come against UCLA, right, who is the second choice on the futures odds. I mean, do you think that UCLA is going to, be able to give them a real challenge here? Do you think that Florida will eventually be able to pull away for a margin win?
Well, for those who believe it's all about matchups, UCLA has a very athletic team where they can score on the fast break, but Florida's got that defensive depth and the quickness to match up very well against them. So, no, I think Florida defensively matches up very well against UCLA's high-powered offense. Again, it's going to be a phenomenal game. UCLA's accomplished a lot this year, but Florida, I know they're laying 4.5, 5 points, but I just believe they match up quite well. They've got the athleticism to keep up with them on the defensive end, and Florida's offense is probably underrated. We talk about, great coaches. Billy Donovan, maybe we don't appreciate him quite as much. Billy Donovan's one of the best coaches in the country, bar none. He's looking for his 3rd national championship.
Okay, looking ahead to the South, if you had to make a pick at these odds, Florida minus 130, UCLA plus 260, Stanford plus 550, and Dayton plus 1,000, what would your pick be?
Yeah, I mean, Florida, that's some pretty heavy odds. I would go with Stanford because, as I said, I love teams that can score inside. They're the teams that are going to pull off the upsets. So Stanford, I think, would probably be the best dark horse still alive right now.
So you think Stanford at plus 550 has the best value there?
Yes, definitely the best value. Again, if we were, if Warren Buffett said, I'll give you $1 million to pick all the remaining games correctly, I would go with Florida. But as far as the value play, Stanford.
Okay, my pick on this one as far as value is concerned, Florida, minus 130. Call me a fucking idiot square. That's my freaking pick to win the South with the best value at these odds. Florida, minus 130. Thanks so much for your thoughts, Joe. Now let's move on to the West.